mains and Yasuo mains alike. I am the Nightwing, Way of Life Esports, coming at you guys with another League of Legends video. Actually going to be doing the LOL podcast again that I completely forgot to do for the past, 3 weeks because, well, Worlds and Griffin imploding from the inside out. Everything. I don't know. What happened? What happened, dude?
Yeah, well, I'm back.
Oh,
How's it
yeah.
going?
I forgot. What happened? Oh, for those of you guys who are new to the channel, this is Hedgie. He's my original podcast partner and still is podcast
Yeah,
partner. He took a break because of school and work, right?
yeah. I had
Did
a
you
lot of
miss me?
exams on, so yeah. No, I didn't. No, I'm just
Oh,
joking.
oh, all right. All right, I'm kicking you off the call. Just kidding.
All
Oh,
right.
man. So, a few quick questions for the subscribers who don't know you, just to kind of like bring you up to date is, so let's just talk about Worlds 2019 super quickly about, Worlds about Cloud9. If you want to talk about any other teams, we'll talk about that, but what did you think about the Cloud9's performance at Worlds 2019?
Yeah. Just before, I'm just gonna quickly advertise my channel. I
Oh,
do
yeah.
gameplay videos, podcasts with my boy over at Way of Life Esports, and I also do patch reviews. Great way to check out my opinion on the game and what's going on, what's good, because I'm a genius.
Oh,
So
yes.
of course, everything I say is going to be right. No, it's not. But yeah, Worlds 2019 was how can I put this? Fiesta, I'd say. Group stage is very different to the playoffs, which I thought was quite weird. As Griffin, SKT, and Damwon really ruled the group stages, but then coming out of it, the Chinese teams really came through in the playoffs.
Yeah, you told me SKT Griffin finals. I was like, after that Griffin week 2, I could see it. And then
Yeah,
Griffin
100%.
that was, it's weird because people said it was just an overperformance. I don't know if it's an overperformance. It's like where
Uh,
it's hard to say because is that was the Griffin everyone wanted to see, but we just never got that Griffin again. They never appeared to be the same.
yeah, I think over a 5 game series, it's a lot different to a best of ones as well. And I think I'd almost argue that Griffin's the best of one team in the world. In my opinion, I think they, in terms of drafting doesn't matter as much in just a best of one. It does, of course, matter a lot, but over a 5 game series, a team's coach and a team's drafting ability is going to be shown a lot more because you have to start changing around picks and throwing up unique picks and just doing a lot of different things that the enemy team might not expect. So when Griffin got to that best of 5 and they started having some really awkward drafts and just misplaying sword, I don't know what happened to him. He was playing fine against C9 and G2, but then he just collapsed. So yeah, I think the
Oh,
drafting was a big part of it, though. Their coach, pretty new, so you can't really blame him. He's not going to know the team style too much. Didn't seem to perform in the playoffs.
man, it's hard to say that group specifically. It's like see, this is hard though. It's hard to say whether or not C9 could have got out of it. It's also hard to say would they have gotten out of even like Splice's group, because looking at the group, it's like you have 2 of the best teams in there power ranked to win the event, and then you have just C9. It's like, do we want them to get out off of hope, or are they actually going to get out due to gameplay? It's super hard with that.
I think they legitimately could have. I think a few of the major things were, one, obviously, Blabber. As Rupert said at the start of the second week, which is a really weird statement, he said it was for testing. So apparently you lose games during the actual tournament for testing when you could just use Blabber during scrims or practices or even solo queue, see how he's performing. And then you could say, okay, in scrims, Blabber's performing better than Sven. We're going to play Sven. Oh, we're not going to play Blabber, sorry. But they didn't appear to do that. They appeared to use him on stage, which I think was a really weird decision. And then the second major thing, particularly as group, I think week 1 was even though we got smashed in week 2 as well, I think week 1 was the one where you really put your dent in your chance of making it out of the group. Our
Yeah,
drafting was just absolutely pathetic.
because
Hong
at least if
Kong,
you get like 2 wins, you're at least in the driver's seat to
exactly. And the Hong Kong Attitudes game, although we won, the draft was absolutely terrible. I don't know
I think the only thing good
Rupert
about
was
it was
thinking.
that Reaper identified that Sneaky was not a strong laner at that current point in time and gave him
Hmm.
Heimerdinger.
Yeah, so I don't. There was 1 or 2 okay things about it, and I don't mind these flex AP picks. I don't think that's actually a problem. The actual problem, I think it was more just the overall draft as a whole. We picked really like win at 20 comps. That Griffin game, that draft was Jesus Christ, and you could see we were the better team as well because we got ahead with that comp, which I don't know how we did, but you know, it was just kind of a confusing worlds to watch for Cloud9. But I mean, that's why they're making these roster changes. The roster changes will come out tomorrow, but can't wait to speculate
Ooh.
on what they
Oh
could
yeah.
be.
Now everybody knows me in the C9 fan group. I'm the crazy guy. I'm called the crazy guy.
No, I think I'm just the idiot.
No,
But,
no, you're called the hater because they think you hate
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
I think it's
No,
just being realistic.
yeah.
You're called the
yeah,
hater. That's
yeah.
hilarious.
No, conversation starter.
Yeah.
Starter,
I'm called the crazy guy. I'm like, I'm sorry. I told people that freaking G2 was gonna get to World Finals. I mean, I'm crazy, man. I'm nuts.
It did happen.
I did,
It
you
did
know.
happen.
And then they got, what's the word I would use? Like destroyed, crushed, obliterated.
Did they turn up?
I don't think they showed up on the Rift. I don't think they actually played champions, but it depends. For C9's roster things, okay, so I know people are going to be really mad at me when I say this, but at lowest possible case scenario, if Sven did come to C9, it would still technically be an upgrade for Cloud9 in the future, not obviously at that moment in time, because you look at how better Sven has played than Sneaky throughout their whole careers, but right now, it wouldn't really be an upgrade if they did get Sven. I know you hate the idea, but
yeah,
I'm not against it, but you know,
I've seen a lot of people say, you know, just anywhere really, that Sven's an upgrade over Sneaky, and it's not a terrible point. Like, I actually probably player to player, Sven's probably a bit better, but Sneaky's been there for 5 years. You know, he's had so much experience. He's had so much success with Cloud9. You know, he's played so well. I don't think it's a roster. You're not getting an upset or a if I hate to say it, I don't like Cobby, but even a Cobby would be better than Sven. You know what I mean? Like, you're using an import slot for a player that's probably the 4th or 5th best AD carry in NA. I don't understand why you'd do that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
because Sneaky is
it
consistently what, 4th anyway, 3rd sometimes.
Yeah, and if this was like Teddy or Upset or anyone good,
maybe Bang.
Yeah, well,
maybe
that's sketchy.
You're like, fuck that shit.
Yeah, Reckless.
Oh my goodness! If C9 got Reckless, they win a title. I'm calling that shit.
Which I think Reckless would probably be the best option in terms of money, and then in terms of also like, I think he's the biggest chance of getting a really good ADC. So I don't really understand the Sven getting Sven. He hasn't performed well once he's got to NA. He's completely dropped. I don't. He's played a few good games here and there in best of ones, but he hasn't looked good at all. So I think sticking with Sneaky is just a bit of a smarter decision overall.
In that case, if you're getting Sven and you're thinking about, is it an upgrade right now to make the roster better? Even I said that's not going to make the roster better instantly, but I think it's really hard to say, would he actually be a better fit, because they kind of play the exact same, except they both play team fights really well. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, and I think in terms of play, yeah, again, as I just said, like, player to player, pretty similar, pretty much on an even skill cap. Sven's not too much of an upgrade. I'd say he's probably a tiny bit more talented than Sneaky. Like, you could say that, but
yeah,
still think the argument is to be made that, like, Sneaky's had 5 years experience on Cloud9. He enjoys being at Cloud9. He works hard. You know, I don't see why, you know, Sven's not this amazing player that's going to come in and, you know, save the franchise. And Blabber isn't that either. But, you know, I don't think he is just like this massive upgrade. So I don't really see the benefit of getting him. If you're going to get Reckless, then that actually kind of makes sense, because Reckless is a star player. He's not amazing. Like, I think Fnatic work well as a team, and they had some really good players other than Reckless as well, but he's still definitely an upgrade over Sneaky or Sven.
Let's see, Reckless. I think that in terms of how would I place Reckless on C9, I think that itself right there automatically would be like an upgrade. But there's something I wanted to ask you too: is do you go with the player that people like, or you go with potential success? Because I think people get in the line of along the lines of, hey, I like this guy, and if he starts sucking, we keep him. Which, yeah. I mean, throughout history, if that happens on a team, they switch that player out and then they do well. IG did this back when they had Remember when Cloud9
Yeah.
was in the group with Kakao? Oh my god.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point.
IG had
Really good
Kakao at
argument.
one point. Switched him, switched the roster twice, made worlds, got a world championship. Fun Plus Phoenix last year, 7th place team, put in one new player, won worlds. G2 had Yarna and Wadid, switched them out, almost won a worlds. Fnatic changed their roster constantly if someone's not working out. They made a world finals. I just think that people get in this terms of, oh, I like this guy, so that's the reason they keep him. Even traditional sports don't do that because
Yeah.
gameplay matters above anything. That's what I'm paying you to do. You know?
Yeah, and that's been a big thing with Sneaky, and obviously I've seen a lot of Cloud9 fans and stuff say, and I think it's actually a similar thing with Reaper as well, in terms of like,
You hate that guy.
like yeah, like you know, Sneaky, and I've seen this happen about 10 or 15 times during this season alone. Reaper will have a terrible draft, or Sneaky will have a terrible game, and they'll say like, you know, oh, it's just one game, you know, it's just one game. Or whatever, he's played better in other years and all that sort of stuff, and blah 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 blah. And it happens consistently over the whole year, and then we end up getting knocked out because of Reaper's drafting and, you know, Sneaky not playing great and all this sort of stuff. And it's like, well, you know, they can't play bad the whole year. You know what I mean? Like, it's just it's not a once off. If you're gonna say it 10 times, 15 times during the year. So, and I think, you know, it is a bit situational, because sometimes, you know, that player might not be this massive star, but they're still gonna bring, you know, what they can to the team, and maybe what they bring as just a role player is huge. And you see that a lot on NBA teams and in sports teams as well. Like, you know, I'm trying to think of a good example of this.
The NBA teams, I would say they did that. Kobe
Toronto
Bryant,
Raptors,
they did it for a
Toronto
long time.
Raptors. We'll say Toronto Raptors, right? Fred VanVleet, that's a tough name to say, might not be the best player on their team, but he comes in and he does his role every night, and it helped them win a championship. So there's every player, there's all these types of players on that team. You know, Smithy, he might not be the best jungler in NA, but he comes in and does his role every game, and that helps them win a championship. So every player has a role, and, you know, helping just complete that role and being vital to the team and creating good chemistry among the team can be as important as just having good gameplay, because a good atmosphere creates that. And I think Sneaky has helped create that, you know, fun-loving, great
culture.
atmosphere. Yeah, meme culture that C9 has helped C9 make it to quarters countless times, and also make it to semis at Worlds. And although we haven't been very successful domestically, I think Sneaky has helped a lot on the international stage, and he's always stepped up when we've needed him, except this year.
Fun fact, guys, there has never been an import ADC to win the LCS. That is, no imported ADC has ever won LCS. It's only been
Jesus.
North American. It's only ever been North American players. Sneaky, Wild Turtle, and Doublelift have only ever won.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? That's why when people see, but this the issue is that I'm not saying we can't use him. I just think, like, in terms of playing against an international international competition. Let's say if C9 go to MSI, would you trust Sneaky going up against Teddy and Uzi? You know, last time he faced Uzi, that was horrible.
Yeah, again, like, probably not. And
Okay.
that's why probably not.
It's
Yeah,
like
and that's
lane,
why.
lane difference and shit.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's why we are making a massive consideration to get into ADC, and probably will. And maybe not, but we
Yeah.
probably will.
I think that in terms of fans, they would like
knows?
to win more than seeing that's how I see it personally. You know, if you start winning, you'll make the fans happy. Keeping this one player, you know, who hasn't really been performing that well consistently recently might cause you to lose more fans than keep them. That's how I see it.
Yeah, definitely. And actually moving on to the other bot laner, Zeyzal.
No, I love him. His beard is so
Probably
fluffy. Have you touched
He's
it?
probably sadly not. Sadly not. Hopefully I'll go to the US one day and touch it, but
oh my goodness.
He's a good player. But again, I think the problem is recurring to C9 with a few of these players. Like, if you're going to get rid of them, who are you going to replace them with? And I think Vulcan is probably the main option right now for Zeyzal. And I don't like that.
I'm gonna say right now, Vulcan is not worth $1 million. Dignitas can take that and shove it up their ass.
He's not this terrible player or anything like that.
No, he's not terrible, but you gotta factor in, dude. A support player, 4th place for the first highest placing. World's group stage went 0-6. They lost to Unicorns of Love.
Exactly,
Holy
and
shit. He's
I
worth
mean,
$1 million? Oh, hell no.
and all they had to do was beat TSM to do it. And since I'm a better jungler than Spicker,
oh my god.
I don't think that's very hard, to
Dude,
be honest.
TSM avoided everybody. They're undefeated at Worlds 2019.
That is true. Congratulations, by the way, TSM, for winning the
Oh
World
my
Championship.
god.
Absolutely fantastic effort. But Vul-
Stupidest shit ever,
Vulcan,
man.
yeah, Vulcan's not that good. He's okay. He's probably the third best player on Dignitas. I'd say Demonte, Cody Sun, then Vulcan, then Huni, then Lyra. Don't even start me on him, please.
Oh,
He's
Lyra's
just
not going to be there
Jesus.
next split. He said they're not. They
Yeah,
haven't chose to extend his contract.
is he going to a mental institute?
Oh my
Like,
god, dude.
Jesus Christ, man.
Call the
That
fire
guy's
department. Someone just got
that
burned.
that guy. He's not a good player. But on Vulcan, not a great player. He's not terrible. I'm not saying he's like,
I see potential in him, honestly, but
he's not Lyra, but he's still
oh
a decent player.
But
But
$1 million, dude. Come on, $1 million for him. He's
I'd
worth
probably
like
rather, I'd say rather
100K.
Zazel. I'd rather Zazel.
I'd rather just keep Zazel at that point. If we have to pay $1 million for this dude, I mean,
I saw rumors about Tucson, and I don't like that either. To be honest, I don't think he's that good.
that would be that is an upgrade, but then you're factoring in communication problems and
Yeah,
all those other things that a Korean brings.
and the fact that we beat their team 3-0 makes me
dang,
kind of
just throwing shade. Oh my, why? You just came back
large.
to the podcast and just started shading on everybody.
Yeah, I mean, largely due to a freak of playing bad as well. So, but yeah, I probably the main two options I've seen so far are
But that'd be sneaky. Would have to play with Tucson. Ooh, that sounds horrible. That just sounds horrible.
yeah. So
Holy crap.
it's just a bit of a weird situation. So
Just
I'm not
for
really
bot.
sure what
Ooh.
Cena will do. If we can get Vulcan on a decent contract, then I would take that. If we can get other good players around him, which is what I want to see. And moving on to other good players around him, Nisqy, should we keep him or should we get rid of him?
I'm 50-50 with him. Because, the reason why I'm 50-50 is because, a lot of people really don't understand how big a task Worlds is. Like, Worlds is really big for some people, and some people just choke, and that's understandable, but that's why I gave him the 50-50, because he looked good in the region after what this play was. He was really good. So I thought at Worlds he would play just better, and then it didn't happen. It was like Faker and mid difference.
Yeah,
horrible, man.
I don't think Nisqy was the reason we lost
No.
a lot of our matches. I'd say he didn't play perfect in a lot of the matches.
But I can
And he
understand
probably
that.
made mistakes. But overall, he's probably going to be placed in third in NA mid laners, because I'd say probably Jensen, Bjergsen, Nisqy, then Monte would be my list.
Why can't we get Power of Evil? We know you love him.
He's okay, but he's
At that point, I would just keep Nisqy, honestly.
he's kind of washed.
Oh my god.
But he is pretty good. I'd say he's probably the best player on CRJ.
I remember someone told you that why wouldn't you take Power of Evil? He almost beat SKT in 5 games. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like 2 years ago. Holy crap.
Yeah, well, Splice took SKT to 4 games. I guess Kobe must be the best ADC in the world. Just to make this terrible argument. But yeah, I mean, he's a good player, but he's probably a bit washed. He's not perfect. I'd still again, like you're gonna use an import slot with him. And I don't understand why Nisqy isn't just a better player. I've had some arguments with people about Nisqy's jungle proximity. So we actually had the biggest mid jungle proximity in the league with Nisqy and gank the most. Weird thing, because when Jensen was playing with C9, we also had a massive mid proximity. And that was shown at Worlds and all that sort of stuff. Sven would just always be mid, and contracts would always be mid. So I think it's just a kind of C9 thing, and I don't see it as a massive problem, to be honest. I I think Niski's also probably our third best player, if of the current roster, like just taking away any changes that are going to happen. Licorice, obviously our star, and then Sven also another star player for us, and then Niski, a solid mid laner. I'm happy to keep him unless you can get a massive upgrade, so like a Nemesis, or can we just get Caps, like just
Man,
or
dreaming. Oh man,
yeah.
my eyes are seeing it. Caps in a C9 jersey, and I meet him at the LCS with all those hot girls. Just
What about Faker?
even, I mean, he costs a lot of money. I imagine if he went to like North America, he would probably be the if Faker ever went to North America to retire, he would probably have the highest contract ever. It would probably be valued at like 6 million. I'd imagine. There's no way Faker would come over.
$10 on a can of Coke.
10 bucks in a Red Bull. That would work.
Oh,
Just
okay, yeah,
one Red Bull, 4 ounce, just one.
I don't know, man. That might be a bit too pricey. But
what was your initial reaction to that? Huni getting 2.3 million for a contract?
did he get one like recently? 2.3 mil.
Yeah, they re-signed
No way.
him, and then the salaries are out there. 2.3 million. I was like, 2.
He can't even play the game. Like, what do you? He can't. I haven't seen him play. I haven't seen him play a top laner with more than 2,000 HP in like 3 years. What the hell?
2.3. You know what I could do with 2.3 million?
Dude, I could.
I could buy things. This is the thing. This is the thing is that if 2.3 million to me is like in NBA terms like you, right? So that implies championship, finals, or trophy. If you get third place, that's a disappointment. If you're paying a guy 2.3 million, and if that does not bring you finals or a trophy, that is just a waste of money.
I find it a very, very interesting maneuver to give him 2.3 million to be honest.
He might be going to mid because DeMonte said they didn't choose to renew his contract.
I don't know. That's confused. That's very confusing.
It killed you. You're just like, damn. They just
possibly. What would you say? Jungle or ADC / support is our most worrying position for next season?
For next season? Oh, sorry. I mean, Sneaky, you could live with him, even though I don't think he'll bring international success as much as people thought. I think Blabber is not as good as people make him out to be. I just don't think he's that good, honestly.
Okay, so with Blubber, so Sven's our MVP. Sven's a really good player, and I would have loved to keep him. But sadly, he's gone. Money, yikes. I wouldn't have liked Zergsay, the Splice jungler. He was really good. He was their best player, so I wouldn't have mind having him. But probably not gonna be able to pick him up. If we could have picked up another NA jungler like Smithy or another good NA talent jungler, then that'd been really nice. But Blabber is apparently what we're probably going to stick with, which is kind of a yikes.
Huge yikes.
Blabber has been said to be really good by some people.
Sorry to laugh, man, but if that's some people include, I will dominate. That makes me really worried. Then.
So what this goes off apparently is Blabber bringing us from 10th to 2nd, which was largely off the back of Jensen. 2, that he has performed well at Worlds. Let's go through his Worlds experiences, shall we? 2018, he played 3 games in the play-ins. They were all bad and we subbed him out. And then during the group stage, he played 1 game. We got absolutely smashed and he got subbed out. And then let's talk about this year. Yeah, he played 2 games. We lost them both. One of them he played pretty decently against Jankos, who I consider the best or second best jungler in the world. So you can give him credit for that. Except he kind of played he made 3 good plays and that was it. And then Griffin, he was our worst player. So yeah, not a very good argument there that he's good on the world stage. I don't really know where that's come from.
Didn't he have the worst sub out wins and loss ratio this split alone? He lost every single game he was subbed in. I remember. All those 4 losses were him.
Yeah. As well as that, the 10th to 2nd run, which is the main thing he's known for. Yeah, he played really well. Then we subbed him in at playoffs. That he threw 2 games. You remember the famous the mic check moment for C9 when there was a team fight. We were about to kill their Scion and their whole team was retreating, and he says, on Kaiser, and just dives into their whole team and dies, and we lose the game.
Holy shit.
Um,
Yeesh.
the next game he
I
didn't.
got a better one for you. This year of
What?
Worlds, he literally just could have taken him and Licorice went and tried to kill Sword. They blew his flash on Gangplank level 2, level 3 when you have the evolved thing with Elise. He blew the flash. They had the lane lead. This dude
And he was
died.
into the tower.
He ran into the tower. I was like, bro, what are you doing? A GP with
so
no
bad.
flash against a Fiora is a 1 game. I was like, that because the same thing Yamato said was like, why did he go and try to kill him? He didn't need to.
Yeah, it was just. Oh, yeah, and I
Took
don't
your
really
brain.
understand. Yeah, I don't understand why he's being seen as a good player and all that. And solo queue is different to pro play. I've said this a lot of times. To friends, people that admire me. So basically, no one. Solo queue is completely different to pro play. So if you go off Blubber's a really good player in solo queue. I'll completely admit that. It's because of his aggressive playstyle. And speaking on his playstyle, that limits his champ pool as well. You saw that was we first picked Elise. What? There's like 5 better junglers. Don't know why we're doing that. As well, but it makes him a better solo queue player because he's aggressive. Solo queue is more aggressive. Pro play doesn't work like that. You got to be safer. You got to make smart, calculated plays. Calculated aggression's fine, but that sort of stuff. So yeah, I'm a bit worried about the jungle slot with Flower coming in. Possibly starting next season, which is going to be a bit of a yikes.
Ooh, man.
Licorice in the top lane is the main role that I want to keep. Licorice is our best player.
It's
No
really
questions.
sad though that he played
No
that
questions
well in
asked.
the group stage, and then it wasn't. If he played this well last year, C9 have a better chance against Fnatic. But he played technically bad in that series, and then better this year at Worlds, and it's like he just didn't have a team. It was like Licorice and 4 wards. That was horrible, man.
Even that group stage against Griffin this year, where he had I think he had a 1 and 8 KDA, and I've never seen anyone play really well on a 1 and 8 KDA. Like he got caught out a few times badly, but holy shit, man, he just had to try to carry that game through split pushing.
You
And
know,
it was
I
just
feel bad for him
kind of sad.
when he said that. You know, he was a little frustrated in that C9 video that it was on Cloud9 video. I think it was like episode 12 or some shit. And then he was a little frustrated that they lost that game because they really should not have lost that game. That game was won.
Yeah.
That's the game I feel like a lot of like where the hope for the group was just bad at that point.
Yeah, and again, he's been really good throughout the year. This year, probably not as good. I think the wrist injury might have had something to do with that as well. But he's been fantastic over the last 2 years. He's definitely been our best performing player over the last 2 years, if you're counting out Jensen, who I'd say was really good.
Saying, I mean, the wrist injury was bad, but I still feel like he didn't play that bad overall. I still feel like he was 100%. Still really good. Remember, in that first FlyQuest game, people keep saying he got solo killed. After he got solo killed, he literally grabbed Svenskerin's hand and walked him into Santorin's jungle, and they murdered everybody else. It's Irelia to Aatrox. You know how big of a counter that is? Like,
the dashes.
It would be a dumb thing for him to stay in the lane and keep dying, but that's what most players would do. But as a more of a smarter player, as what I saw he did, he left and was like, okay, I can't win this. How am I going to win anywhere else? He left. That's not the ideal way, obviously, but it just goes to show you that he wasn't going to sit there and obviously let the game fall out of his hands because he had a bad lane matchup. But that's how I saw it.
Yeah, definitely. So I think he is one we should definitely look to keep. Now, the position that everyone's going to hate me for and say, you're an idiot. And we should keep him, and he's really good. And I think we are going to keep him. I think Jack has confirmed that. But Reaped.
Ooh, you know,
majority of our games this year were lost to drafting. Change my mind.
you change your mind. You know, we had. Nah, it's really hard to say because drafting is hard because I'm not gonna say he didn't draft perfectly all year because remember a draft is prepared by a team. And obviously, the player should be good enough to execute that draft. But that's just like any team should be able to do that in general. So you can't really use that as a what's the word I would use as a concrete argument for them. because if you're drafting a composition with like no CC, no split pushing, no hard lane control, no side wave control, no objective, early objective control, no early game pressure. There's not really much they can do other than play it out. It's like, how can they play out a comp with no engage or no win condition past like 15 minutes? That's not really their fault at that point.
Yeah, exactly, and I think you saw that through a lot of the group stage matches for Cloud9.
First,
And
dude, we had Heimer.
yeah,
we weren't trying to win that game. There's Heimer.
no,
Shit.
the first 3 games were just like,
Oh,
I don't know what we're drafting. Like even the Cassio Tristana swap.
Oh, I hated that shit.
What? Sneaky's one of Sneaky's best champions is Tristana, and Niski's he used to be a one-trick Cassio. So what? Like
hey, they got the wrong
flexing our champ? Yeah, like flexing our champ.
They can trade before the game starts, and it's like,
Yeah, and like Tristana's not terrible into Zyra Khan because Tristana can kind of W away from Rakan's engage, and then Cassio. Oh god damn it! What was Cap's mid lane of that game?
Caps played.
Oh.
No, G2 didn't play Kiana. They hated that champion. Was it LeBlanc? I swore it was LeBlanc that game.
I can't remember, but I swear it was like a better matchup for Cassio, if I do remember.
Ooh.
So I don't know why. There's so many terrible arguments for that are like trying to defend Reaper. Like, well, the players have their say in the draft as well, so it's not entirely Reaper's fault. It's like that's like saying the players on a basketball team or a whatever sport team have a say in the game plan, so it's the player's fault, not the coach's fault, or just the team's losing games. It's automatically the player's fault, not the coach's fault. Like, yes, the players are more important, 100%. But if these drafts are getting picked up where like you literally putting yourself in such a bad position that you have to win so early, I don't understand why Reaper's not blamed for that sort of stuff. It's just a bit silly. And okay, yeah. See, like, I don't think that's a good matchup for Tristana. Tristana's just going to get chunked. Her W doesn't really matter because of Zoe's range. At least Cassio can ult Zoe if she pops up. You can outplay that matchup. Tristana's kind of shit. Into that matchup. And I've always said with Tristana, she's so specific.
The Reaper thing, I would say after all these years, even I would say it's time for a new coach. Maybe I give him the benefit of the doubt that there are a few splits that were going to be Cloud9's. That's going to happen no matter what. There's going to be times where it literally is resolved, but it's been since 2016, so that's 2 splits a year. So that's 2, 4, 6. It's been 8 splits. It's been 8 splits in 3 years, and we're moving into 10 splits. So Weaver has been with the team for 10 splits, moving towards next year. If I don't see one title in spring or summer, yeah, I'm hard pressed to believe I want this guy gone. It's not like he's a horrible person. I think he's a great guy.
It's not. I think he's done some good drafts as well. Like, I'm not saying every single draft issue has been bad.
You're the Reaper hater in the group.
Yeah, and the 3 games, the second lot of games, in the group stage for Worlds this year, I'd say it was more players' fault than the drafts. But again, like just throughout the year, there's been so many drafts that have made me question mark ping our games. And so many games that I've just gone like, well, why why did we just pick Nunu out in the first game of the year? So like, I don't understand.
Don't remind me of that.
A lot of the drafting mistakes he's made, I think, are just a bit inexcusable. And he's made some really bad drafting mistakes in important games across the year. Fnatic series, we picked Echo for some reason as a Victor.
To be fair, that was admitted by a couple players that said they were just getting absolutely destroyed in scrims by like IG and Fnatic and shit like that. So they're like, if we don't pull out some sort of counter pick or cheese, we're gonna lose. To be fair, allowing that is his problem too, because you still can't scapegoat him for that either.
I don't think the Victor pick was this massive broken pick that you can't play against. I think there were other counter matchups. Like, just pick a ranged top laner to play.
I don't even think that really wasn't Licorice's fault. That was more like Jensen getting fisted by Caps really hard.
Yeah, as well. Like,
there was just mid difference in that series. That's just bad.
There's 138 champions in the game, or however many, and you've decided to pick a melee champion in a long lane into Victor. Like how the Victor can just kite back, can poke you out early. I don't understand why Echo, of all the champions in this stupid game, is the pick for that. Why not just pick Gangplank?
Or Azir.
Gangplank,
Because Fnatic
hard
bad.
to kill, pretty hard to kill early with his W.
Mhm.
Good kite back potential, good scaling. Victor isn't that strong early. He's not going to kill you in lane unless you're terrible. So just pick a range top laner that can scale well. So Gangplank would have been perfect. Just I don't understand the Echo pick. I think it was really weird. And then there was the Rumble ban in 2017.
Oh my god.
It's game 5 on the line. Can Cloud9 make it to the semifinals for the first time in 7 years for NA? Ban Rumble instead of Galio. GG. So
Oh yeah, I remember that. Holy crap! There's been some.
yeah, so he's had some kind of weird moments, and although he's had some great drafts as well, the Hecarim pick was really good. Some of the drafting
the
against
Kindred
WE.
Zillion bot lane. Those bot lanes that we ran, the Nocturne
Yeah.
Shen combinations, like those were fine, because he
Yeah.
realized that the team had issues with high execution comps. So I was like, why not just give him simple shit? I mean, people kind of rag on simple shit, but if simple shit gets you wins, and what if that simple shit wins against people, that goes to show you how bad those other people are for losing to that. So I was like,
Yeah,
why not
and
just play to your team's strength? If you're gonna give them Shen and Nocturne, keep giving them that. As long as they keep leaving it open, just keep on giving them that. Why not?
yeah,
They're
and
winning
he's
with it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They were winning with
yeah,
it.
and he's been so inconsistent across the years that it's kind of like I think it's
Ooh.
about time. So
Oh, the
yeah.
Kog'Maw pick. Oh my god, that tilted the fuck out of me.
Wait,
Mystic's
well,
best
when was that?
champion, the World Elite
Oh yeah,
quarterfinals. Oh
we
my,
never banned his Cockmore. Yeah.
oh my god, Mystic's best champion was Kog'Maw. He was basically almost a Kog'Maw one trick. Taking that
Yeah.
off, oh my lord, it almost broke my brain.
I think we also picked what did we do?
They let him have Galio. I remember.
I think we picked Zaya instead of Rakan, or the other way around. I think no. We picked Rakan, not Zaya. Is that right?
I think so.
No. We picked yes. I know what we did. We picked Rakan. No, we picked yeah. I'm my brain is hurting right now.
I know these bad.
No. We picked yeah. We picked Zaya instead of Rakan. So then they got to pick Kog'Maw Rakan. Why not pick Rakan? Force them to pick Zaya, so then he can't get on his Kog'Maw. Like that was a weird decision as well.
Smart thing to do.
We put this really weird like focus on Zaya as a champion. I don't understand. I think Rakan was the stronger of the two.
And then the banning, they're not
In that
banning
matter
Galio.
as well.
Why even let him have
The-
Kog'Maw? Literally, they beat him. The games they won, they didn't let him have Kog'Maw. So what?
Jesus.
Jeez, I was like, holy crap! Oh, the Twitch pick in the TL the TL summer finals last year. Oh my god.
This man's actually, yeah, I don't know. He just
even
falls apart.
It's weird. It's because I think he's I think he's the best regular LCS season coach that the LCS ever had. But in terms of playoffs,
Yeah,
you know,
maybe.
he's probably one of the worst. That's hard. That's really hard to say, but really
Yeah, his coaching style probably suits the best of ones a bit more because he does these weird picks and all that sort of stuff. But again, he's had some weird drafts in best of ones as well.
Yeah.
So
I would say in terms of that, I would say just having another coach. After this year, I would pretty much put a bid for another coach.
Yeah,
I would
and
do it.
I think actually on my channel do some next year do some breakdown of C9's drafting.
Ooh, that way people can't call you a Reaper hater.
Yeah. No, I'm actually I'll break down drafts and you know, say if they're good or bad and just what's going on in them and that sort of stuff, and that'll be fun. As well, and hopefully enhance my viewers and my own knowledge of the game.
Ooh.
But definitely something to look forward to. But yeah, I just so questionable some of his drafts, and yeah, I mean that those are most of the C9 roster change or are the C9 roster changes
Rumors.
overall. and the rumors.
Rumors.
Hopefully we get a decent player.
The initial
Probably.
rumor was that Jack wanted to blow everything up. Now he wants to maybe have a bigger roster. I would say just blow everything up, man. I think it's time for a change. Like,
Honestly, I'd sign me.
whoa,
I'm a
whoa.
really good jungler.
Why are they not signing me? I literally have the best Darius in North American solo queue.
All right,
Oh my
that's
god,
actually
there's
pretty
no
insane.
confidence. You're like, this
Why
guy
aren't
is a straight up liar.
Are you better than Licorice?
See, that's debatable. It depends on the days where I have dates. So that means no. Never.
Oh
I'm gonna
Jesus!
style on some kids with my platinum Darius ultimates that are pointing.
Too easy. Too easy. Too easy.
Should we get a new owner? No, I'm just kidding. I literally can't.
Jesus. No, he's good. Jack's good. I like him.
See, it's weird though because right after if you subscribe to Reaper's YouTube channel, he'll tell you why he did a draft pick or whatever he did, and then he'll tell you how it was gonna work or why it was gonna work. But I'm like, wait a minute. If you know all of that, then why did you do any of that?
Yeah.
If you predicted that and it was not gonna work out, then why do it? You
The
know.
the answer is it wasn't. But
Oh, whoa. That's the Inception shit you're doing right there.
Oh Jesus Christ.
That's been nice, man.
Yeah, 100%.
Did you miss me?
Definitely. We've gone through this, man.
Oh my god, you didn't miss me. I'm gonna cry after this.
Make sure to subscribe to both our channels
Yes.
because we upload the best content on YouTube.
If you want to support me, go to g2esports.com. Dude, I'm actually gonna get the C9 flag.
Oh, actually, that's actually sick, man.
Yeah, go to c9gg.store, help out Blue because we have to pay for more sneaky cosplays. I mean, have you seen?
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
one? Oh my god, dude, I was gonna. Whew, that Caitlyn almost got me there.
It's beautiful. It's actually beautiful. You obviously do videos just discussing all types of things League of Legends.
Oh yes, sorry, yeah.
Do great content videos. I do patch reviews, podcast, gameplay video. You can't. I'm even going to do draft reviews and VOD reviews.
You
so
actually do a draft review tomorrow. Just kind of glance over a draft review of his eventually.
No, dude, my preseason patch review has to be tomorrow, right? Hedgie's patch reviews.
No.
Hedgie's patch reviews. Gotta come through,
You
dude.
should put in the thumbnail with Reaper's face. Abysmal drafting. Cloud9 needs to get rid of this guy. XD 1080p.
XD 1080p. What the?
XD 1080p. Reaper needs to be fired. Omega lol trash coach.
Reaper destroys Cloud9's chances of making Worlds Finals.
That has to be a title, man.
And Blabberint's under tower 40 times. My wife left me after this one.
Oh my god. Sneaky's cosplay ruins a draft. Here's proof. Siver. I would say like after your patch review, just do like a Reaper draft of a recent one. That way, like, people kind of understand where you mean by he's effing garbage, he's trash, he needs to go back to Korea.
Yeah, 100%. I'll definitely be doing draft reviews on him. And I'll maybe over the summer as well. I might do a few.
I would say a controversial head coach you do one over is Young Buck on Fnatic.
Trying to think, he has some decent drafts.
Because people keep saying he sucks. I'm like, I don't know. Does he suck? Because Fnatic is.
I would argue G2. I would argue G2's coach is worse.
Whoa, that's an unpopular opinion that will not be tolerated here at all. Grabs is the best coach. He's overrated as fuck.
Yeah, he's. I mean, it's multipliers.
But
again,
that's been great, guys. I have to go.
Yeah.
And watch lots and lots of videos.
I've got to play some League of Legends.
No. No. Why would you play League of Legends? Who plays that game? That game is overrated.
It's pretty
and
bad.
dying.
It's pretty bad. Yeah.
People told me League is dying and the highest viewed game ever for an esports.
It's the most views on Twitch. Most people play it. The most views on YouTube. Yeah, it's really fallen off, isn't it? Jesus Christ.
People told me it was dying, yet it has the 2 highest esports matches ever from this year alone. Oh, this game is dead. I'll see you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe. Most of all, enjoy. I'll leave a link to Hedgie's channel in the description box below. And anything else you want to say before we leave, guys?
Cloud9 suck.
Yeah, if Blabber's on the roster, man, 6th place,
Yeah.
barely making the playoffs, and then pull a
Wow.
TSM and then beat TL in the finals. That
Easy. Too easy.
too easy. Actually, one last minute before we leave. If C9 did that same TSM thing they did with xSmithy and Fitzgerald, I, I I wouldn't hate it. I would understand it, but
Who knows?
yeah.
Who knows, man?
All right,
Who
see you
knows?
guys
We'll
later.
find out
Bye.
tomorrow.
Have a good day. Peace.
Hi there, guys! Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more stuff.
Yeah, thank you.